It's the Blues Rock Show with Pete Francis and Willie Witten.
Welcome to the Blues Rock Show. Pete Francis alongside Willie Witten. And Willie, we're celebrating on this edition of the Blues Rock Show because this week marks the 1-year anniversary of the Blues Rock Show. Hard to believe, but we're still going, Willie.
Yes, it's true. It's been a great year for the Blues Rock Show. Other than that, I feel like most people out there would agree it's been a little bit of a rough year. So the whole time dysplasia is sort of odd, Pete. I'm wondering where the year went.
Yeah, the time has been going by really fast, and we really kind of started this show because of the pandemic. And it kind of gave us something to do, and it was another way to kind of stay connected and at the same time kind of provide people with something that really isn't being done in this sort of genre. So, Willie, with that said, do you have any moments that kind of stick out from our first year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got a few off the top of my head. Our very first guest we had on the show, Anthony Gomes, was kind enough to be that guinea pig. He turned out to be so much more. We asked him about, hey, what do you think about the 70s best guitarists? Because Bob Gertzen had put out a list.
A controversial list.
A very controversial list. And because of that, Gomes shows up and he's got a legal pad. We had like 25 names on it. So for us,
I'm pretty sure Gomes wrote a master's thesis on the blues
because he is.
I would expect him to be well prepared.
He is. He's a blues master. He went to school for it. So he sort of showed us up, but I thought that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed when Leela Baum showed up with her goofy, crazy sunglasses with the third eye. She was a hoot. She was a lot of fun to talk to. How about you? Any ones that stand out?
I think there's a couple. I think having John Fusco on was awesome, especially because we talked about a potential Crossroads reboot and whether that could happen or not. Maybe we'll see. And then asking Kingfish about that. And Kingfish was definitely down for it. He's excited about it. So will we see the Crossroads reboot? We'll just have to wait and see. But I think that was kind of cool, kind of talking about that with both of those guys. I think Philip Sace is always very good. Every time we talk to Philip, it's great. Josh Smith was another really great guest. A lot of, just great chat with those guys. So I think those are some moments that stick out. And I think another one that sticks out to both of us was having Alligator Records president Bruce Iglauer on the show. Very educational. I thought that was a great show as well.
I love that too. There's a personal connection there. Being from the Chicagoland, that is a Chicago icon. And to get to sort of chew the fat with him for a bit, I felt I was sort of honored. I think you were too. I also enjoyed one last one that just makes me chuckle is we had Caleb Johnson on the show. And I thought it was humorous, but also wildly impressive is, instead of the show versus tell, when he wanted to explain something, he would just bust out into full on song, just on command. And I liked somewhere between humor and just absolute amazement. That was something that stuck out too, but it's been a lot of fun. And, we've got another couple guests lined up here in these next couple of weeks. So that's year one. Pete, I don't see any reason why year two wouldn't be twice as good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fun, Willie, there's a new single that's going to be coming out within the next month. Eric Gales and Joe Bonamassa. And this is a very anticipated single. And this has been kind of teased on social media. There's been some photos out there of them filming a music video in a boxing ring, kind of simulating a heavyweight bout between these two guitar gods. And when you talk about the top tier guitarists in modern day blues rock today, I think there's probably a handful of guitarists that are probably a notch above everyone else. And those two would be in that handful of guitarists that are a notch above everybody else. So, Willie, how much are you looking forward to this single that's coming out in the middle of October?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I agree with you in the fact that these guys are definitely top heavyweight contenders. And I think that's what this is sort of about. I'm looking forward to it. Me, personally, I do like music videos, but I'm always more keyed in about the music. What I'm really looking forward to is the album. I'm really looking forward to the music. But yeah, I think the video should be interesting. I got a question for you, and I don't know because I could see this going either way. I think there's pros and cons. With sort of the storyboard, the pictures, the stills that have been released on social media here and there, we've sort of been teased a bit about what this might look like. I feel like in a way I already sort of know how it's going to go. I hope they throw me for a loop and there's some more intrigue in there. But there's a part of me that thinks I'd rather maybe just have a date, a release date, and then when it comes out, be completely surprised. Do you agree with that? Or do you like that they're sort of stirring the pot and they're whetting people's appetite?
I think it depends on a case by case basis, but you can see what they're doing here. They're obviously marketing this. They want to build the hype, the anticipation, because this is a big deal when you have these two artists on the same track, kind of battling it out. There's been some viral videos on YouTube of these two jamming out, and now they're going to put it on a record. So it's really exciting that these two are going to be on a record like this. And we'll see if it actually lives up to the hype, though, because they're going to build up all this hype. Is it going to live up to the hype? You know, when you have two of the best guitar players in the world, and it seems like there's probably going to be a big guitar solo in there, Willie, where they're kind of trading back and forth. So
maybe
we'll see if it lives up to the hype. They also had a special referee, Keb Mo, for that music video as well, if you've seen the photos on social media.
I have. I think it's cool. And yeah, I guess you said it better than how I said it. You said it far more succinctly. You're creating a lot of hype. I always sort of believe that the safer way is to under promise and over deliver. Then again, these aren't guys who have really played it safe most of their life. That's also why they are where they are. These guys are risk takers. So you give them credit for that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Even if, you know, some of their stuff I've liked more than others in the past, as we all do for any artist, but I never really walk away feeling disappointed. And I don't think anyone is going to walk away disappointed. I give them credit for trying something new. I give them credit for going ahead and doing something different. So yeah, what's to lose? I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of something different, or I guess in this case, a little something the same, Dion's coming out with a new album, is he not?
Yeah, Stomping Ground, that comes out in November.
And on the album, if you take a look, and I've seen some pictures, I've seen some pressers, the list of the people that will be featured on the album is as impressive as any I've seen in a while. Or like Knopfler, Clapton, Bonamassa, right?
Billy Gibbons.
Bruce Springsteen, was that on there too?
Bruce Springsteen's on there.
We could keep going, but this is a heavyweight. Speaking of heavyweights, he's got a laundry list. He's got all the heavyweights. How much are you looking forward to it? Or do you not love these type of albums where it's more of a collaboration than a cohesive album idea?
Well, that's a good question, Willie. And you look at Dion's previous album, and it was a similar thing where they brought in a lot of heavyweight guests. And I think it depends. This is always a case-by-case basis for me. If it's kind of an ascending artist or a newer artist that is kind of on the come up, I'm not a huge fan of them having guests on every single track.
Okay.
I think it's cool if maybe they have a guest on one or two tracks, but in that case, with someone that's still kind of building their body of work, I really want to hear them. I don't want to hear guests so much. In Dion's case, my opinion's a bit different because Dion is already extremely well established. He already has a huge body of work. We all know who he is.
Right.
We know who a lot of these other artists are. So it's kind of cool to see this sort of collaboration because at this point in Dion's career, he has nothing to prove.
That's right.
He doesn't have to be putting out records at this stage of his career, but he is, and he's kept busy, and you know he's got some pretty high profile friends, and so they're going to join him for this album. So in this case, I think it's really cool.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I think we're of the same ilk here, and the way I'm going to phrase it is, I like it in this case. Yes, I would love to see a Dion album more so than the collaborations, but this is cool. It works for me because they are contemporaries. I don't feel that like the one example you gave where it's someone on the ascent who's reaching for these big legendary names to bring them in. The other way, the flip side that I really dislike is when artists who are maybe towards the twilight of their careers or have had a couple not so notorious few years go and start reaching down with the cool kids and where they play. Like, and I use that example. I'm going to go talk about Santana, who I love. He's one of my favorite guitar players. He did so much for Latin rock. His first 3 albums are still as great as any, but man, I felt like it was a little bit, I don't know, pathetic when he was reaching back to hang out with a bunch of 20 somethings and doing some collaborations with whether it's Rob Thomas or I forgot who else. They weren't bad songs, but to me, that's a little bit, yeah. And, I'd also say that another thing that I don't love is that it seems to me like the Robert Plant, Alison Krauss rehash is going to be the same thing they did 20 years ago. So I guess all things considered, Dion doing it this way is not a bad thing at all. You're going to expect some good quality music. Are there going to be legendary, memorable songs? I don't know. A lot of those guys are maybe past their best years, but it's fair. I believe it's tactful, and I believe we're going to get some really good music. So I'm cool with it. I'm not going to be sitting around under the Christmas tree forever waiting for the album, but I'm definitely going to check it out when it comes out because it's got to have some good tracks, right? I mean,
when you have names like that on that, it's certainly going to get some people's attention. And I think that's part of the point. And that's a very marketable album when you have all those different names on there. So yeah, I think it should be pretty good. So what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to this album? Do you like kind of collaboration guest albums like this? What do you think about Eric Gale's upcoming single? Are you looking forward to him jamming and having that guitar battle with Joe Bonamassa? And do you have any favorite moments from the Blues Rock Show? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys about that in the comments section below. So please let us know. We definitely appreciate your support. Make sure to hit the like button. It really helps us out and helps Willie feel good about himself. And so that's very, very important. So, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. He's Willie Witten. I'm Pete Francis. This is the Blues Rock Show. We'll see you next time.